What if I told you the key for skyrocketing your developer career is in taking bigger risks? Look, if I were to begin everything again from the scratch as a developer, I would have taken way more risks. And this is coming from someone who, at 24 years old, came to Australia to work as a software engineer from Brazil. Literally, I did everything by myself, bootstrap, no parents sponsoring me or anything. Hello everyone, my name is Pedro and I want to dive a little bit into what if I were to start my dev career again today. And one thing that's stuck in my mind is I would have taken bigger risks, and not monetary risks, I think, like trying to go to a bigger company, earn more money, but bigger risks in terms of I would have made more choices regarding the tools I want to work with rather than the money I would be paid on. And not just that, but sometimes I've made decisions to work for specific companies because I was scared if I work for the other company, I wouldn't have the necessary knowledge to work for them. I mean, I didn't make so many bad choices. Looking back my life, I'm pretty grateful and happy for all the decisions I've made. I've seen some decisions that I could have taken into a different way. The main reason is sometimes I have the imposter syndrome, so I don't feel like I have that much knowledge or I'm much smarter than other people. So whenever I'm trying to apply for a position, I was going to the safest path because I feel like, wow, I know if there is this and this and these things and I'm matching all of them, it means that I can do this job. And that's literally how I would look up for jobs. And all the jobs have become so much more difficult because of that, because I was literally trying to see if I could match all the lists and all the possibilities. So one thing I would suggest is try to apply for roles that necessarily don't look like you might be a great fit, but you think that you can learn from it and you think you can deliver it after a while, after you learn and you improve. I would suggest myself just to go back in specific moments and try to risk and try to get into a specific position. So another factor, and I think this is a very important one, don't make your choices based on money. Back in the days, I was working as an SQL developer. I have previous experiences with web development, and I wanted to go back with web development. But there's one single trick. No company was willing to hire me as a web developer, coming from an SQL background for almost a year of working. So my thing was, all right, even if I have to go back as a junior and work as a junior web developer for a while, and make the transition, I will do it because I want to work with web development. And that's exactly what I did. And guess what? Just after 2 years I've done that, I've managed to move to Australia. Just because of one single decision, I've managed to change my life completely. And I'm here since 2019. And that's exactly the power of few decisions into your life. You should make very careful decisions about money and choices, because I think, at least from my perspective, money can always go after. If you make the right choices, for example, if you love working with React, Next.js, or any specific framework, choose that framework. If you're happy, you're passionate about working with that thing, work in a company that allow you to use that tool and, do your best into that specific stack will make you highlight your career. And then after that, you can get a position at any specific company. You're not limiting yourself just because of the money. You're not just going like, all right, I'm going for the highest position, the one that pays more, and then you're just sad. You're not going to perform. So my biggest advice would be that don't go for the money, but go for the strategy. You need to build a strategy of where you want to get at. Another important step is trying to work in companies that they bring your best. And by that, I really mean it. As developers, we tend to love doing simple stuff. And most of the developers I know, they love doing simple stuff. Sometimes companies where you have specific challenges, for example, you have a huge workload, or you have specific tools and frameworks that you need to implement, but you don't have the whole scope or visibility, or you need to solve support tickets as soon as possible. Usually these kind of environments, they bring something new that you didn't knew that existed. I'll give a very good example. When I was working in a company, I never had the experience of working as a support person, you know? So we had two teams. One were features and another one was support. And basically the support team had to deal with all the issues every day and do support for that. So my main job was fixing bugs. 9 years of career and I've never done that. I was pretty stressed. I was like, wow, how can I do that? How can I fix it? All of this. And then one thing I realized, we adapt. And because we adapt, it got easier and easier over the time for me to solve any bug fixes. And then I realized that my programming skills were getting better because my mindset, it was now into problem solving, and wasn't more into feature and wasn't more into creation, but it was into problem solving. And I think that's a very important skill that you can get. And whenever you're in your life, you have different moments. Moments where you're just working with features, moments where you're just working with bug fixes. But if you allow yourself to work in these sort of complex environments where you always have challenges, you will learn a lot and you will have some very valuable skills where they can be reused into other instances as well. And the best places to find this is startups, because startups are usually the places where you don't have a specific role and you have to do everything at the same time. And this is why I love startup environments, because whenever you're working in a big company, it isn't bad, you know, don't get me wrong. It's a different environment. And I think everyone, they should once into their life experience working in a startup, in a medium company, and in a multinational company. Because when you work into these three kind of environments, you can have different perspectives and you can learn in each of them as well. All right, to wrap this up, these are the three main points for this video. The first one, embrace risks. Taking a risk can take you to somewhere you didn't even believe you could reach by yourself. The second, seek opportunities into complex environments. That's usually where the magic happens. And the step three is step out of your comfort zone. Go to events, share your knowledge. Don't be afraid of exposing yourself, because you never know if someone is interested in whatever you're talking about, or they find you knowledgeable and want to work with you. So don't shy, just go outside and explore everything. Give your best and try. And now I give you a challenge to set one goal for this week and take a risk. Thank you for watching, and remember, your next breakthrough is just one risk away.